Well, welcome, ladies and gents. This is kind of some revelations that we've been getting out, of course, to do with Disney and the Star Wars themed hotel, Galactic Star Cruiser. Now, they sunk a lot of money into this, like the tune of $1 billion plus. And they're set to lose over, just straight up loss, okay, like actual loss. Not going to recoup this ever. $300 plus million. It's a lot of cash. Like, it's not a small amount, it is a lot of cash. And I see this and I'm like, this decision making is absolutely nonsensical. So the Star Wars hotel was going to receive a Mandalorian retheme. You know, their only popular thing outside of, you know, the original characters. But then Bob Iger came back and just pulled the plug completely. And you're like, what, are you insane? What are you doing? There's so many things about this that doesn't really make any sense, and it all to me just points towards them trying to absorb it, I guess, as like a tax thing. I can't imagine what else it is, really. It's got to be a tax thing. It's got to be a tax thing. So let's dive into this today. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Love to have you here more often. Give the video a like and a share. So again, this was shocking anyway, because they ended this about basically, well, it's going to end and be closed a year after it started. But they were selling it for absolutely staggeringly insane, ridiculous sums of money. So this started at just under $5,000. Just for 2 guests for 2 nights. Right? And it's not 2 nights. Like, it's 1.5 or 1 3/4, right? Because, you know, you got to wait to go there. They're running it basically like the Disney cruise ship. You know, you got to disembark and, you know, embarkation day and disembarking. So it would be basically 1 3/4, 1.5 days. For nearly $5,000, you're insane. And then it would, of course, go up to $6,000 for a family, which, you know, we keep getting told Disney is family and Star Wars is family oriented. It's for kids as well. So $6,000? Who the hell can afford that? That is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And then the other thing is, it's just one and done, because they never changed any of the themes that they were doing. So you'd go there for 2 days, 1.5, 1 3/4, whatever, and they'd have set things to do. You know, quite smartly laid out. It was like Rey came in here, and the First Order came in and captured the ship, and all this kind of stuff. But they never changed it. So once you'd gone and you'd experienced it, it was done. All the novelty was gone. They weren't cycling in new attractions, whatever you want to call it, attractions, events, things that you could sort of take part in, basically cosplay, LARP around in. There was no new storylines. It was just that one thing. So that was an incredibly stupid decision as well. And you think as well, for a company that runs very successful cruise lines, their cruise lines do, you know, pretty damn well, to be honest. And excuse the pun, but they run a tight ship. You'd think that they'd be a little bit better at organising something like this. But no, apparently not. I mean, those two things, the cost of it, plus the fact that once you'd paid that and you'd experienced it, that was it, you'd experienced it anyway, it was done. That is ridiculous. Super, super, super dumb. Genuinely, ridiculously dumb. And then, of course, you know, initially it was selling all right. People were liking it. Experiences weren't that great, but people were liking it. Reviews were mixed here and there. Then they came out with a ridiculous drink that cost like $5,000 as well. No word of a lie, a drink that cost $5,000. So anyway, of course, they're now closing their doors this September. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. A year after it was released. Or opened. This article says a rare failure for the House of Mouse. Wrong. They fail quite often, but it's rare that they would admit to failing so monumentally, such as this. And it is a failure when it comes to theme parks, which they say here. You know, failure, no, they come up with lots of failures. But failure to do a theme park, yeah, this is pretty unusual. Because and this is why it doesn't really make any sense. Because the majority of their money, essentially all of their money that they earn, comes from their theme parks. So they should know how to do this. But anyway, the Wrap reports that the project likely cost Disney upwards of $1 billion, and there were even tentative plans to open an additional Star Cruiser in Anaheim, Paris, and Tokyo under the same remit. The same guidelines, the same broad stroking, however they were doing it. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Now, cast members working in the hotel didn't even learn of the sudden closure until the news broke in the media. That's absurd. And insiders believe former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, he's their fall guy, who remains an unpopular figure among Disney fans, is largely to blame for its failings. I completely disagree. And we'll come to this because this doesn't make any sense. His decision to streamline many of Galaxy's Edge's features at a cost-cutting measure resulted in them being incorporated into this hotel, hence why they didn't work particularly well in their new home. But you can adjust the suit. Chapek was also keen to bring more wealthy guests to Disney parks after the pandemic, explaining that the high admission fee and increases in everything from regular ticket prices to Genie Plus replacing FastPass. And they say this is a Disney insider telling the Wrap. Once you went through the 1%ers who could afford it and the fanatical Star Wars fans who would sell their mother to do it, you were done. No one connected to this came off well. And this is true. This goes to what I was saying, is in like, it's literally a one and done. You're never going to, you've experienced it. There's nothing to experience again. It is literally done. But they're blaming Bob Chapek, and I disagree. I would blame Bob Iger because he came in before returning. CEO Bob Iger made the decision to close the hotel's doors. Why? Bring the cost down, cycle in new things, retheme it. A number of ideas were thrown around. Among them were tours of the facilities that would have given access to the bar, dinner show, gift shop for an additional charge. They also considered retheming it to The Mandalorian, but Iger said no. Now it's unclear what will become of the building that has 100 hotel rooms in it. At least $300 million they've lost. Just gone. Straight up. Tax write-off. Gone. We've lost this money. But this is what I mean. Bob Iger, why didn't you just lower the... Why not just lower... Why not just lower it? It's not selling. Lower it. What are you doing? Recoup the money over a period of time. Absolutely ridiculous. The fact that you're just like, we just lose 300... I mean, it's got to be money laundering of some description. $300 million. You're happy to lose that rather than just lower the price to actually sell tickets. Are you joking? It's insane. Why wouldn't you retheme it to The Mandalorian, which was, at the time, their most popular property? What heck? Why not even retheme it to the original stuff? Absurd. Absolutely absurd. Just goes to show Disney and Bob Iger really don't know what they're doing. Absolutely absurd. But let me know what you think down below. Love to hear any and all of your thoughts. $300 million down the can, at least. Couldn't happen to a better company, eh?